We have some interesting transfer news and club news to get through today, my friends, involving the search for a new goalkeeper, us being set to sign Brazil's next great hope, more interesting developments surrounding BlueCo and their strategy. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Thank you for the love and support you guys are showing recently. It means a lot, and very quickly, I feel like recently I'm seeing a lot of opinions change around this season's home kit. For myself, I think this slaps. I think this is a very nice kit. I love the designs, the graphics, and I've been wearing this nearly every single day. I'll keep it real. So if you guys want to get your hands on this home season kit, use my affiliate links below in the description, and don't forget to use NEYMAR10 at checkout. So let's get straight into things. Now, to start with things, I thought it was best that we discuss everything going on with BlueCo at the moment, and to do that we discuss the latest news involving Strasbourg, because as we are now learning, Patrick Vieira is set to be replaced by Hull City manager in Rosenior. Now, what helped with this appointment is the fact that Rosenior had a prior working relationship at Brighton alongside Sam Jewell and Paul Wintonley, and he also worked under Lawrence Stewart at Hull City as well too. So it's quite obvious that they all saw him as the exceptional candidate, as they were looking to hire a manager that was English and fits the molds of playing football the right way. Now, Rosenior's a manager that believes his teams should work very hard off the ball, work even harder at set plays and pieces as well too, and also wants his players to enjoy their football. You know, he discussed certain managers throughout his playing day that created a very hostile environment for the players, you know, very macho, and Rosenior is not part of that, and he feels like if you want to get the best out of youth players, then this more holistic approach is best suited. And obviously he's had a lot of experience working with youth teams at Brighton and Derby, and this is the exact hire they are needing for Strasbourg at the moment. So let's see how this develops. Right now, Strasbourg fans aren't impressed, and some common criticisms include things like not liking the feeling of being a satellite club under us. They feel like they have no faith or trust behind how they're being operated at this point in time. They don't recognize the team, but ultimately, they don't like the feeling that the possibilities at Strasbourg are capped, because the reality is Strasbourg can only be so good, because once they get to that threshold, they'll be forced to sell players for profits, and good players will be moved within our network model. So I can understand their concerns, and right now it's up to BlueCo to show that there is a plan, and this plan is to mirror what is happening with the Red Bull model compared to other network models we're seeing with other clubs. Now, as we've known since the start of last season, the league capacity has dropped in Ligue 1 from 20 clubs to 18 clubs. Strasbourg were only 3 places off the relegation zones, and now they have an even younger squad compared to last season. It is going to be a difficult task for Rosenior to turn things around, get used to the culture, adapt to a new environment, whilst also improving the stakes and quality of the team. Now, on some positive news, Strasbourg are currently in talks to re-sign their former star striker in Habib Diallo, and I think that is a positive move, because it's quite obvious that some experience is needed alongside some exciting potential at the football club. Is that a way to win the fans over? Time will tell, but I'm sure all of us will pay a lot of attention to what's happening at Strasbourg next season, because there's one thing we have to hope for, and that is Strasbourg not getting relegated, because there will be some dire consequences that could come from that. To move on to continuing the news on BlueCo, we're finally getting some news surrounding our efforts to sign another club under this network model. At the moment, it's rumors, but these are very strong rumors. There's a lot of things happening right now, and I'm here to break down exactly what is going on, because the rumors suggest that we are close now to finding an agreement with Vasco Da Gama, and essentially here's the breakdown. Now, investment bank called Moles & Co have been appointed to review multi-clubs owned under 7-7 Partners. Now, 7-7 Partners, they have assets including, you know, clubs they own like Genoa, Hertha Berlin, Red Star, but most importantly, Vasco Da Gama. At the moment, they're trying to get a Prem club in Everton. Since then, it has been confirmed that 7-7 Partners have now departed from Vasco Da Gama, and they're in negotiations now to try and sell their 30% percentage to other investors. Now, Pedrinho, the director of Vasco Da Gama, has already confirmed the fact that they are holding conversations with 2 clubs at the moment, and they are looking for ambitious partners. They've recently re-signed Coutinho. Of course, we've seen Dimitri Payet has gone there as well. And they have plans to one day become a club that can challenge for honours in the domestic league. So, if these rumours are correct, and I'm feeling pretty confident by them, there is a massive opportunity for Clearlake and BlueCo now to tap into the South American market directly, because that's always been the long-term strategy. So I'm going to explain to you how I'm currently seeing the long-term strategy at play now. But to paint this picture, let's remember what happened when we left the EU. And essentially now it's been easier for Premier League clubs to sign talent directly from South America based on the new points-based scoring system, of course, to acquire work permits. So this new point system takes into account league quality, and at the moment the Brazilian league is in band 3, which is really good. But the consequence of this new point system is that now it's actually a bit harder to maybe even sign European players from, League 2 divisions, League 3 divisions, because those players would struggle when it comes to acquiring the points needed. I think that's why we're seeing so many clubs in the Prem now signing players directly from South America. Now I've given you guys the backstory. Let's examine the future possibilities of a strategy like this, because imagine if we could own a Brazilian club. This would give us that outlet needed where we could acquire top talents from other South American regions like, Bolivia, Paraguay. They could then get funneled into Vasco Da Gama, where we've set up an operation there to try and sign the best up-and-coming talents from the region and across South America. This on paper should give Vasco Da Gama the opportunity to compete on a higher level as they're getting access to more quality players, but the main benefit is we then have the opportunity to directly be able to bring these players from Vasco Da Gama to us or into Strasbourg, knowing the fact that they can easily secure the work permits needed, of course, to make this entire strategy viable. And deep into the future, I guess the long-term play at hand would simply be, instead of having to buy and spend a fortune on signing an Esteval Willian, what if we had the network model in Brazil where we are able to unearth the next Esteval Willian, NEYMAR, whoever, directly and then bring them straight into our first team? I see the vision and potential behind this. And as we've known, South America has been a very important continent for us under this new ownership. We're looking to boost commercial activity in the region. We're looking to boost our fan membership, merchandise, possibilities, and we're seeing our investments in the recruitment. If young talents in the future are seeing top South American players playing for us at a young age, in their heads they'll realize, Chelsea Football Club is a club I want to come to make it. And hopefully that's how we're creating this long-term legacy that we benefit from for decades and decades to come. However, as I keep saying, I'm not against our strategy. I hope you guys really understand this. I see how incredibly smart this operation is. However, it simply comes down to execution. This is where I'm losing a bit of confidence. I've not lost all of it, but it has waned. So I need to see more from the execution, because we have an incredible strategy at hand that could really separate us from the pack for decades and decades to come. So that's the BlueCo news out the way. And now let's stay within the region, because positive news is coming out involving our efforts to sign Gremio's Gabriel Mec. Journalists in the region have revealed the fact that we are in the final stages of negotiations to get this move completed, and this news was further confirmed by Matt Law, who said that at the moment we are expected to complete the move to sign Gabriel Mec. And in my opinion, this is big news, because I think this kid is a super talent. I heard about him before, and I wasn't surprised that we'd be showing interest in him, because he's a player that fits our model. But I feel like I have to clarify some things, so I don't want to confuse anyone, because I know some may be thinking or typing right now, Nini, you're a bit of a hypocrite, because you're always complaining about not having enough experience in the team, but now you're doing the nay and you're twerking up for another youth talent. What's going on? But I want to simplify this. I kind of want to make it easy to understand, and it simply comes down to this. I am not against signing the elite level talents, and Gabriel Mec is. And I say this because he is getting backed by people with big finances. He's got significant commercial opportunities on the horizon. He is being managed by Neymar's dad. This guy is a emerging talent in Brazil, and this is the type of player that I think is a blessing to capture. From my fan sides, I've always longed to see that 5-star skiller. You know, I thought your Bogas or Musundas or Kakutas, or even recently guys like Joao Felix, could they be that player to capture, you know, my childish fantasies of the game? Because I've always loved that type of player. And I do feel like Gabriel Mec is in a similar class. And let's hope that he can be someone that can complete this dream. I'm already starting to think about that. It has him on the left-hand side, Kendry Pires in the middle, and Esteval Willian on the right-hand side. This could be incredible. And again, when you're signing elite-level talents like this is where I feel the model is justified. Where I have question marks though is when significant amounts of funds have been spent on your David Washingtons, your Ugo Chukwus, your Casades, many more players like this that don't have any clear-cut futures at this football club and are not guaranteed to even bring in significant profits if they were to be moved on. If we had signed all of them and loaned them straight out to Strasbourg, that would give me some confidence that we are at least doing right by the players. But we aren't seeing anything like that right now. We're signing more players who fit this type of unknown profile, but we're showing that we don't necessarily have the environment to distribute the minutes needed to even give these guys a fair opportunity at development. I don't necessarily agree with this Hunger Games approach of just signing, you know, 5 players for one position and hoping the best ones can fight it out to win a place in the team, because football development is not that linear. And as I'm stressing, I prefer we focus our direction on getting those elite level talents that have a big opportunity to make an impact in the team. And you know why they have the opportunity to do that? It's because they'd be signed directly to go to the first team. I wouldn't need any loan moves to Strasbourg's. I think when you're starting to build this incredible project, there needs to be a bit of focus, in my opinion, where you start at level 1, then you progress down slowly. At the moment, we're a squad that is 40 man plus. That has to get dramatically cut down. Personally, I feel like we'd have a lot more focus in most windows if we didn't maybe sign 6 or 7 unnecessary players that aren't directly benefiting us in any capacity, either on the field or financially at this point in time. So I hope I've clarified my opinions on the matter, but as I'm saying, I think the capture of Gabriel Mec is fantastic, especially after losing Rio Nguma to Liverpool. So that's him out of the way. Share your thoughts and opinions. Now we end things by discussing the latest transfer news, and we start by discussing everything happening at the goalkeeper position, because as we are learning from Matt's Law, within the past 24 hours, the club have decided now to make a move for a new goalkeeper. Now, it doesn't personally surprise me. Over the past few months, we've been constantly linked with a profile of goalkeeper that can play out from the back, that can operate more as a sweeper keeper. But as we are learning from Matt Law now, we are looking to sign a goalkeeper that can compete directly against Robert Sanchez. This is big news because it confirms that at the moment, we are open to allowing Petrovic to leave us. That may be in a permanent move if the money's right, or that could be on a loan deal. I think Torino were linked with him, but his wages were too high and, you know, the finances were too much for them to continue on with the operation. But it seems like already, after only signing for us after 1 season, Petrovic should be out the door, and I'm curious to see who the replacement is set to be. In the meantime, Kepa's move to Al Ittihad is now off. They aren't interested in him anymore. Let's see if he stays at Real Madrid, but I would not be surprised if Lunin remains there. And interestingly too, Marcin Bulka did like a tweet of Alex Goldberg's on Instagram, and it seems to suggest he would be open to returning back to us. And I think, you know what, he's one of the best goalkeepers, if not the best one, in Liga and last season, and he's finally showing why he had that top class potential to begin with. I'd be open to that move if he had to replace Petrovic, but I can't lie, I do feel for Petrovic, because when you deep it, he only really got his first start in the game during mid-December, coming on as a sub against Everton. But I thought last season was a season of development and promise, you know, a big step up from the MLS to the Premier League, and he didn't look like he was sinking in the league right. Is he incredible with the ball at his feet? Unfortunately not, he isn't. He's regularly kicking the ball out of play, starting attacks from deep, not really finding men or connecting the field. I get that, but then equally, you knew that when you signed him from New England that he wasn't that type of keeper. What he is that he's very good at saving penalties, a very good, shot stopper, great reflexes, really strong aerially as well too. And I felt like last season he had some really good games. I think his best game was in that cup final defeat against Liverpool. I mean, yeah, he was making so many big saves for us, but he had great games versus Tottenham, City, Palace, Fulham. Clutch moments like his performance in the pen shootout against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. He had his moments. Yes, he made mistakes. I think most notably being against Sheffield United. I can accept mistakes to a certain degree because we never signed a player that was at the highest level to begin with. We signed a project. I know some may use stats to disprove everything I'm saying, but Nini, compare the spider graph of Sanchez and Petrovic. But I mean, this is where stats has its limits for me, because Sanchez played in a possession team and he played for us. And then when he wasn't in the team, we didn't really play that possession. I think we can all remember how the end of last season went, but he had his moments. But I don't know, it leaves like a sour taste in my mouth, because what does it really say about our strategy in youth when we're not creating that environment to really develop these guys and improve them, right? I know what some might say, Nini, come on man, not everyone's gonna make it. Some are gonna get flipped to be sold for money, but you're saying that now. Back when we signed him a year ago, that wasn't the case, and immediately there was like a lot of hope that this guy was automatically better than Robert Sanchez, and a lot of people probably still feel like they saw more in Petrovic compared to what they saw in Sanchez. But still, it leaves a little sour taste in my mouth, because we haven't even really given him that room to really showcase his potential, to allow him to develop a little bit longer, and it's like he's instantly become redundant in the space of 1 year. Now, I understand it can be argued that this is a harsh football reality, that Petrovic is just another casualty of the game, because the reality is Maresca needs a ball-playing keeper to really maximize the system. I get that. So I understand why Petrovic does not fit that mold. It may look drastically different to a Robert Sanchez, right? But now my issue is, do I have the confidence that we will sign the best keeper for this position? In my opinion, I'd love if we could show some ambition this window and make a move for Diogo Costa, because when you look at all the best clubs in the world, there's a common pattern with them, and that pattern is they spend a lot of money acquiring a top-level goalkeeper, because these guys make the difference. And I think Diogo Costa should be playing in a stronger league for a better club. He'd be my dream option, but already we won't be committing to that type of outlay or funds whatsoever. Too often, I think we're paying the price for all these short-term opportunistic buys that fill needs in the moment, but don't really satisfy long-term needs in the squad. If Petrovic has to be sacrificed so we can finally start to commit to a plan and a way of playing, and if this means that we have to sign a sweeper keeper that's good on his feet, hopefully we commit to this way of football now properly for the next 1 to 3 years, because I'm not going to wish ill on Maresca, but my God, if things worked out against him, which made his job harder, and we're not backing him, I'm going to be annoyed. But for me, it's a reminder that anyone can be a casualty when there's an inconsistency in ideas, in squad building, and when there's non-stop meddling as well too. So my friends, share your thoughts and opinions. How do you feel about this news? Who would you like to see replace Petrovic to compete against Robert Sanchez for next season? Let us know below. And to end things quickly with the latest updates surrounding Romelu Lukaku. Now, a lot of this news reconfirms some of the updates that were coming out from France from last week, the last time I discussed this story, but now we have more concrete news we can work with. At the moment, as we knew, French media reported already that Paris Saint-Germain had already been holding conversations with osimhen's representatives over making a move happen. Once I heard that news, it told me that right now would be the period that we're looking to engineer actual negotiations to try and move Lukaku to Napoli, and this is finally happening. We are learning that Napoli have agreed personal terms with Lukaku on a 3-year deal worth around £97,000 a week. On top of this as well too, Napoli's initial offer of £21 million, 25 million euros, has been rejected at the moment. We are still holding out for maybe around 40 million euros, but really in fact, we are hoping to land a move that's going to be £30 million plus bonuses. So it really is up to Napoli now to make something happen. I think this is a very fair price for the player, but at the moment they must wait to pave the way for osimhen to move to Paris Saint-Germain. How much will they sell him for? I think we've learned that they were looking to reduce his asking price to around 100 million euros. They're currently in pre-season. Conte needs the cool players in his squad to work with for right now, so they can't afford to waste any more time with osimhen and Paris Saint-Germain. But some reports suggest that Paris Saint-Germain could offer around like 80 million plus a player to satisfy the move. Let's see how that works. That could be fair. But ultimately, Osimhen and Lukaku's futures are intertwined at the moment, because once Osimhen is sold to Paris Saint-Germain, that will pave the way for Napoli to complete the purchase for Lukaku. And I think, knowing how desperate Conte is to reunite with the striker, I think they could match our terms we are presenting, because I think £30 million plus bonuses is a very fair offer for a very consistent Serie A striker. So my friends, that is all the latest news today. Share your thoughts and opinions, man. I really want to know what you guys have to say. And on that note, I'm NEYMAR FC. This is BlueLionsTV. See you all soon.